days running past, we maze runners ablaze and stay numbered last. The pain that we display, you can't understand. That's why we move with the faith of David Abraham. We tryna pace where the apes be. Keys like HP, curses live at HD. Women chasing clout and brothers changing their faces. Screaming, oh God, send your son to save us.
So tired of all the pain. See all my people in it is living day to day. It's hard to face. I know that on that day you can release them chains. So give him all the praise and change. Change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. Change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. Yeah, it's time for a change to come to my people. Cause Lord knows that we gon' treat it equal. 400 years of the same old ish. Rape, rob, kill and spoil, getting off the shit. Now check it, can barely wait for that day to come. Getting ready for that war, time to beat the drum. And to the ones trying to hold me back with bent up faces, just call me Master Eddie, trading places.
Change gon' come, and it's coming fast. I know change gon' come, cause this world won't last. I know it's so much hurt, and it's so much pain. But when them cherries come, just know the world gon' change. Why my people cry? Cause they tired of lies. That's why we face the east, pray to Yahweh Shai. Cause change gon' come. Prophecy says that change gon' come. Yeah.
So tired of all the pain. See all my people in it is living day to day. It's hard to face. I know that on that day you can release them chains. So give him all the praise and change. Change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. Change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come.
Look, we've been trying to get up out of this, but we've been too busy worshiping some nonsense. Jesus, we want change that happen real quick, but we are stiff-necked people and we don't give a All women all up on Instagram, shaking and twerking their ass like they don't give a damn. And if we really want change, we gotta open our book and be baptized again. We gotta change.
So tired of all the pain. See all my people in it is living day to day. It's hard to face. I know that on that day you can release them chains. So give him all the praise and change. Change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. Change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. Change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come.
Change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. You know change gon' come, change gon' come. Rather than the scripts that change gon' come. That change gon' come, that change gon' come, that change gon' come.
This is a True King production.
It's monologue in the being at home. Why? Sheesh. It's all praises to the Most High. You counted me out and then watch me blow by. My faith is one of baby's kids, cause they just won't die. Sheesh. It's all praises to the Most High. It's all praises to the Most High. You counted me out and then watch me blow by. My faith is one of baby's kids, cause they just won't die. It's all praises to the Most High. I ain't the one that that you can rule off. And I ain't talking reindeer, cause I've been on a mission and this is my Hall of Fame year. Yeah, you thought your folk were done, but boy, I came back stronger. Things I never would've made it. Marvel's at high longer. I did, that's no lid. I'm all gas and no mid. Been so contrite to get it right for all the wrong I did. And I'm still gonna shine the light even when I'm off grid. Acting like y'all done forgot about all them songs I slid on. I'm man to man, I'm in my zone. You can meet me across the road, I'm talking bone. But I doubt it cause I'm out it, bro, I'm so long gone. Got to call up Jeremiah about my fiery bones. Ain't a spitter with a flow that can distinguish. I mean this, I'm team this. You're dirty like I said, I ain't the cleanest. Woo, I got to go, I'm on my Bruce Leroy. It's all praises to the Most High, you bless your boy.
Praises to the Most High, you counted me out and then watch me blow by. My faith is one of baby's kids cause they just won't die. It's all praises to the Most High. It's all praises to the Most High. You counted me out and then watch me blow by. My faith is one of baby's kids cause they just won't die. It's all praises to the Most High.
Y'all really think that y'all can stop the promises of Jacob? We counted as his sheep, but we was sleep, see how we wake up. So confident in Yahweh, my ego got an ego. He keep watch on the sparrow, so he snoopy about his ego. Let that ring not talking smeagol, Yahweh shot me amigo. Big Judah, let's raise the yak, nor the kingdom, lift Casamigos. Sheesh, we got the sauce, yeah, we be dripping, my dear. We gotta put out caution signs, cause folk be slipping round here. All praises to the Most High, could've chose not us. We could've been terror wheat until we all combust. Still it's bump America, but it's in God I trust. We not declare that we the Jews, and boy, they swear we cuss. They thought they can wipe us out before we wake up and take up our true inheritance when y'all will massacre like makeup. Cause the tail gon' be head, we was last now first. We gon' lean to the end, cause the end
it's
reverse.
All praises to the Most High, you counted me out and then watch me blow by. My faith is one of baby's kids cause they just won't die. It's all praises to the Most High. It's all praises to the Most High. You counted me out and then watch me blow by. My faith is one of baby's kids cause it just won't die. It's all praises to the Most High. We the real Jews that the Bible talk about, homeboy. We the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Hey man, these folks stole your identity, my boy. Nigga, they hate you. Nigga, they rape, rob, and murder everywhere they went, bro. They ain't messing with your phone, you know what I'm talking about? Hey man, it's all praises to the Most High, my boy. Hey, he loved us, he kept us. We still his folks, he still rocking with us. Hey, even when he cut us out, he was like, hey man, I gotta go back and get my people home, boy. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, it's my law again, my boy. Come to war, we in this thing. The wake up collective, let go. Sheesh. All praise to the Most High. 144, the 1/3. Who we trying to be? And we pray for his strength. We pray for his grace. We pray for his mercy. But we gonna keep going. You know what I'm talking about?
My water straight from the throne. We built the altar with the unhewn stones. Home to the city, all we seeing is these bones. So my face like flint till I wake a couple souls. A prophet hated by his own, so the father sent his son to bring the tribes of Jacob home. Jumping through these traps cause they trying to see us gone, but we walking through the fire just like Daniel and his bros. From every sheep to her zone, we stay inside the book because the book is all we own. Heritage and you better hold it on. We like David fighting giants with no armor and a stone. We face east cause a car home. We face east just to call home. We can't sleep till we all home. We won't rest till they all gone. So I guess that we be calling out they all bones. Bless the seed, invest the deep in the laws of our God. Make us Elohim, Shema, Warapah, all the Zod, Nakim, Barakatah, Yahweh, and Mashad, Nakim. Bless the seed, invest the deep in the laws of our God. Make us Elohim, Shema, Warapah, all the Zod, Nakim, Barakatah, Yahweh, and Mashad, Nakim. From Bereshit to the books in Greek, the dragon took the sheep. Man, the book complete. The Father looked for peace, but we shouldn't the beast. Now we up until our power, put the hook and cheek. Shemam, Yasha Allah, Abanawa, Yahweh, Ahad. He the tower till he give us the power of God. Though in the tower you will never devour a tribe. The Lord despised all you devils, your hours arrive. Blessed is he that kept the peace. Never forgot the poor and he kept the feast. I'm trying to dodge destruction, they can't stop the sea. Barakatah Yahweh and Mashat Nagin. Blessed is he that kept the peace. Never forgot the poor and he kept the feast. Trying to dodge destruction, they can't stop the sea. Barakatah Yahweh and Mashat Nagin.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
All right, I want to first give honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. I am Brother Knock, and
I'm Brother Eliel. Shalom.
Shalom, and we are the Anointed House of Saints. We want to welcome you back to another awesome Milk Monday class. The water for joining us this evening. Now we'd love it if everyone who comes in can please like, share, subscribe. If you haven't already, it would be much appreciated. Now, before we get started tonight, I want to go over a few announcements. I think my mic's a little messed up here. But the first being that we want to announce that we will be having our first AHOS Passover. And it will be held on April 3rd through the 10th, 2023. Our first year will be having it in Atlanta, Georgia. So anybody who would like to attend, please do so, but we need you to email us. And that email is AnointedHOS at gmail.com. When you do email us, we will send you a link to where you can RSVP. You can put down how many will be attending your party, and we will send you the price for tickets. Now, we understand that these feasts do cost, so we want to make sure that we have enough food. And we want everyone to enjoy and have a good time, because we will be having after Memorial Feast, we'll be having entertainment. I know we got DJ Shaquat will be in the building. DJ Judah will be in the building. We'll also provide some live entertainment from yours truly, AHOS, and many others. So please, if you plan on attending, get your information in as soon as possible. Also, I want to address those who of the brothers who may be wanting to join us, who may want to start doing the work and putting their brick in. We do have a prospect class, and currently we have one in process. But if you do want to be a part of this, what you can do is also send us an email, and that will be at the same email, AnointedHOS at gmail.com, and we will respond to you at the appropriate time. Also, any sisters that may want to help with the building of our camp, who want to help in with cooking, with feasts and different things like that, we ask you to also send in an email or send in your requests to the email again, AnointedHOS at gmail.com. We will respond to you, and because without our sisters we can't build. We need our sisters and our brothers together, so that's what we'll be needing. I'm hoping that some of our sisters can really get in with us and realize that, this is something that we need to do together. Now, before we get started, I want to go ahead and give some shout outs. And so we're going to get started over here, and I'm looking to see who we got first. So the first one tonight, we got our brother, AHOS Chazakia, Shalom, brother, Shalom. We also got Captain Yahawada. Shalom, Cap. How you doing? How you doing? Shalom.
Shalom, y'all.
And then, of course, we have Sister Joan. Oh, I'm sorry. I said Joan. My bad, bro. This is John Allen. Shalom, bro. Shalom, family. Didn't see that. Reading a little too fast on that one. Shalom, Zanaya. Shalom, family.
Shalom, sis.
Big shalom to AHOS.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go. Sister Joan Gilchrist, shalom, sis. Always
Shalom,
here.
sis. How you doing?
Appreciate seeing you here all the time. Always diligent. All praises. We got our brother, Kadar Aharon. Soldier brother, Kadar Aharon. Shalom, all the way from Texas. Shalom, brother. Good to see you. Sister Charlia. Shalom, sis. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here tonight. Shalom. We have our brother, DTA Twan. Shalom, brother. Good to see you. Also, we have Brother Wynn Walker. Shalom, family. Shalom. Also, we have Azaniah. Shalom, sis. Good to see you. Shalom to AHOS Chazakia. Shalom, brother. Shalom. Our brother and captain, Michael Alexander. That's actually... Oh, and didn't I yell him out already?
He got 2 accounts.
Okay, that's what confused
we got 2.
Okay, shalom again, brother. Shalom.
Yeah.
Now, since this is my first time doing this, I don't, sis, you have to forgive me because I don't know how to pronounce your name. Let me find you again real quick. What's her name? How you pronounce her name? Somebody help me out here.
Hold on a second now.
I can't remember. I want to say her name. You know what I'm saying? I want to get it right the first time. Sis, let me find you again. If I can't, it's sis with the Hebrew name. You're going to have to send me something or someone to let me know how to pronounce your name. So I apologize, sis. Shalom for being here. Shalom. Let's see. Captain Yakim Yah. Shalom, brother. Shalom, Cap. We also want to say shalom to K. Don't Cap. Shalom. Captain Shaquat out of Cali. Shalom. Shalom to Naquam. Shalom. Yahawada. SOT.
Hey, my bad.
Shalom,
I got
brother.
a phone call. Hey, that sister's name is Ayasha.
Ayasha. Thanks a lot. All right. We also have AHOS Kodash. Shalom, brother. Shalom, soldier. Let's see who else we got. We have HOS Captain Yonatan out of the North Carolina. Shalom, Cap. Shalom. And that's let's see. We also have our brother soldier Boaz. Be zealous out of Ohio. Shalom, brother. Good to see you. Shalom, AHOS Shemaiah. Shalom, brother. Shalom, brother Kasadia. Van Yahawada, soldier Kasadia. Shalom, brother. See who else we got. We also have Captain Kanal. Captain Kanal. Good to see you. Shalom.
Shalom.
Let me see anyone else. I think that just may be. Oh, nope. There we go. We got brother Aharon, Captain Aharon. Shalom, brother. Shalom. Good to see you. Shalom. We got our brother Chaziah. Shalom 2 times, brother. Shalom. Good to see you. Shalom to brother soldier AHOS Nadiyab. Shalom, brother. Good to see you. Shalom to AHOS Yaquab, soldier Yaquab. Shalom to Ariel. Shalom. Let's see anyone else. Shalom to Captain Judah. Shalom. And I'm trying to see if I think that may be everyone. If I missed anyone, shalom to all. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Hey, right quick, I want to go ahead and give, shout out to everybody right quick, but I want to give a personal shout out to Brother Naquan. Shout out, Ak. Shalom. Kiss the
Shalom,
babies for
shalom.
me. Kiss the babies for me. All right, go ahead, Ak.
No doubt, no
You'll
doubt.
see that brother in a minute. That's my brother. Go ahead.
No doubt, no doubt. So family, so tonight we have another exciting lesson. This evening, I want everyone, if they please can, the way we do it, we want you to get your KJV Bibles out. We want you to get your Apocrypha out. We want you to get your notepad, your pens, pencils, what I'm saying? Maybe even get some little drinks, something to eat on, what I'm saying? Get your highlighters, so you can write down some of these precepts and other important info that we're going to be bringing through this class this evening so that you can use these for your study, your own private study time, outside of these classes. Khan? And with that, I'm going to yield and turn it over so we can start this class. It's all yours, Cap.
All right, Khan. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, bet.
Khan.
Bet. All right. Shalom, everybody. Hope everybody doing good tonight. We got a little Bible study today. It's going to be a little different than the usual class. We're going to be doing a lot of reading. This class is on what I told you guys it was going to be on last week. So for those of you guys that have been looking for a Bible study type class, you got one, right? We're going to be going over the kingdom split, right? I'm not going to go over all the events leading up to this thing. Basically just going to start at the literal part where Solomon died and then go into it from there. And once we finish the split, we're going to stop. This is only going to be a lesson on the split. You know what I'm saying? As far as the wicked kings and all that type of stuff, we'll get that later. So, we have prospects coming into the camp. So we trying to make sure that we get lessons that are specifically geared towards what they're going to be learning. Also specific things that we want people that watch our camp to learn as well. So that's what this lesson is going to be geared towards. All right. So, I do have a video, just because, I know y'all have a short attention span being Jake and all. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch this little video. It's basically going to be Esau summarizing the Bible, right? The devil knows the Bible too. They've had it longer than we've had it because they took it from us. You know what I'm saying? They've had chances to analyze it and everything. And he's going to explain the story pretty well. Not 100% correct. And of course, we'll dissect that. But it's only going to be 8-minute video. We're going to watch his little video. And then we're going to actually read the account that he's speaking about, right? Which is the kingdom split. So y'all like the video when y'all come in the building. Share the video if you can, if you want to. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to go ahead and get into this thing. Let me put this up. Before we get into the video, just for y'all notes' sake, because this is a thing, this is a lesson where you should be taking notes. If you don't take notes on the other lessons, this is one where you definitely want to have the notes. This is stuff that you want to be able to explain, right? If you got kids, this is history you want to be able to teach your children, right? This is why the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom aren't cool with each other right now. This is the beginning of the Deuteronomy 28:54 within our nation. You understand what I'm saying? Which is, as you know, what we've always called the biggest curse, the worst curse, right? So what I'm showing you now, this is basically when the split, you know what I'm saying, between the two kingdoms, Judah and Israel, Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom. This is approximately done in 975 BC, right? Right after the death of Solomon. So that's when they approximate the death of Solomon to be 975 BC. All right. So just want to show y'all that for your notes' sake. We'll go ahead and get into the video now. Let me see what the hell. All right. Judah not on here. He gonna want me to do this. Is you can learn the Bible, right? Some little Edomite channel. So fair use. Give me a second. My junk lagging. I don't know why. What the hell is going on? Hold on a second, y'all. Now you want to play piece of shit. All right, my bad. Let's get this going.
And then Solomon, his son.
What is going on with this joint? Y'all give me just a second. I'm trying to find out why this.
Lagging.
All right.
So in Unit 3, we looked at briefly the kings of Israel, and they are, of course, these three. King Saul, the first king of Israel, followed by David, and then Solomon, his son, and who is the first heir to the throne of Israel. And as we zoom back, again, we look at this time period here. And so we go and kind of walking down the timeline. We looked at the cycle and the judges, looked briefly at the time of the kings. And the next event that, of course, happens is that the kingdom splits. And so now, instead of just being one nation, it is two. And so the two nations are Israel, who is the nation in the north, and then Judah, who is in the south. And so as we look at the timeline, knowing that these events.
So what he's doing here, he's explaining to you the cycle. He did lessons, I guess, on Judges and the Chronicles and the Kings and stuff like that. So now he's basically just giving you a summary of all the things he's done. And today he's going to talk about, the kingdom split, Israel and Judah. So
how they kind of connect to each other is important. But another important question is this, which Bible books cover this period? So that's kind of helpful to know, where in the Bible do we cover? Because the Bible, again, is not chronological. It's organized by literary type. So sometimes it jumps around a little bit. So if we go backwards just a little bit into our timeline, we looked previously at where some of these books fall. And we looked at the book of Exodus, of course, covers the end of the Egyptian sojourn, and then, of course, the Exodus itself, as well as the giving of the law at Mount Sinai, followed by Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. They're all part of that same time period. And as we get into Joshua, of course, we have the book of Joshua, which covers the conquest of the land. And then during the next season, the cycle and the Judges, we read the books of Judges and Ruth take place during this time period. And then 1st and 2nd Samuel follow those, and they provide the transition from the end of the time of the Judges into the time of the Kings. And so actually, if we look at 1st and 2nd Samuel, the events cover.
All right, so he gave you a little bit of a summary, right, of basically what's going on before the books of the Kings. So if you guys didn't know that, this is a summary. You could rewind it back on your own time later on, or you could watch the video yourself or something like that, right? But that's basically just a summary of what the books basically entail, from Exodus on to the Kings, right? Chronicles is right after that.
In those books really kind of go right there on the timeline. They kind of cover the life of Samuel, and they come up to the end of the life of David. And then the books that follow are, of course, 1st and 2nd Kings, and 1st and 2nd Kings start at the end of David's life and cover all the way through basically the time of Judah, as well as 1st and 2nd Chronicles covers actually a little bit more territory, just starting beginning of the life of David after the original genealogy there, and then it goes to the end of the exile, which we'll look at in a little bit. So that's kind of a little bit about how those books fall. But really what we want to do now is we want to look at this event right here, and this is the kingdom split. So what happens here? Well, there's two important people that we need to know about that are most relevant for this particular event, and they are, of course, Rehoboam and Jeroboam. So let's look at these two individuals. And
now, when we get into the Bible, he's right. These are going to be the two most important people in this chapter, right? So Jeroboam, he's at the top because he ends up being the king of the northern kingdom, the Ephraimite. Starts off all right, but ends up being wicked as hell. Rehoboam, he's the son of Solomon. Not so bad, right? There ends up being a stretch of a mixed multitude, if you will, of kings in Judah, where some of them are righteous, some of them are in the middle, and some of them are wicked. And then in the northern kingdom, because of who they had to follow after, which was Jeroboam, they was just all wicked, right? So that's the story we have there.
Find out how
This is also the beginning of what Hosea was talking about when Judah tells everybody to leave the northern kingdom alone. It was because of the situations that happened with these kings during this time, right before their exile. Right?
How they fit into this part. So we've got Rehoboam. Let's look at him first. Who's Rehoboam? Well, he is the son of Solomon, and he is now the heir to the throne. So you have Saul, David, Solomon, and now you have Rehoboam, who takes the throne after Solomon. But there's Solomon taxed the people heavily to build the temple, and so he basically has a choice to make. And so instead of easing up the tax burden, which his dad's counselors told him to do, he listens to his counselors, his friends, the younger guys, and instead of easing up the tax burden, he actually increases it on the people, and this causes a civil war with the people, and the nation split.
So he's right with everything up to the Civil War part. There technically wasn't a Civil War. There was about to be a Civil War, but the Most High stopped Rehoboam from, he was basically assembling the Benjamites and the rest of Judah to go up there and fight. And the Most High stopped him from doing that to allow, this to happen with the Northern Kingdom, to allow them to go off for being wicked. So, yeah, there wasn't a Civil War, but they did end up not coming to terms with Rehoboam, because instead of listening to Solomon's counselors, which told him to lower the tax that Solomon had rose to make the temple, Rehoboam listened to people that were his age, that he grew up with, his homies and stuff, and they was basically telling him, yo, you got the power to raise the tax, you can make some bread off this or whatever, show them how powerful you is. So they basically, essentially, as we're going to read, told him to let his nuts hang, in so many words, like Jake would, right? And that's basically what he did. So the Northern Kingdom said to hell with it, and that's what happened. So we're gonna read that in a minute, but yeah. What'd you say, Knock?
No, I was saying that's exactly what he did.
Yeah. He, yeah.
Let him hang.
He let his nuts hang.
But so that from there, what happens next is we see, so now the nation is split. He instead didn't ease it up. He made it worse. And this guy, Jeroboam, is important because he's just basically a son of one of Solomon's servants. But what he does is he actually leads 10 of the tribes in a revolt against Rehoboam. And because of that, he becomes the king of the north, king of northern Israel. But of course, he quickly falls from grace after that, and he sets up idol worship.
So this guy also is important because he was also sent away, right? He was a big time warrior when Solomon was alive. He actually went against Solomon, basically rose his hand against Solomon, decided not to do some things. And Solomon decided to want to kill him. So he dipped off and ran to Egypt, right? When Solomon died, he was basically requested to come back on behalf of the Northern Kingdom, and they ended up making him the king once this situation happened that the dude just talked about, right? So we're going to read that whole thing in a minute. I don't know if he's going to go into it, but that's what happened. And, that's why Jeroboam had a name in the first place. It was because he was a warrior of renown before, during the time of Solomon, and he was sent away because, he bucked up against him, and his life was in danger. So.
In the north, so people don't have to go down to the south. And this is known as the sin of Jeroboam. And this was bad, as we'll see when we get into it in part 2 of this of the course, the total course. But what we want to do is let's take a look real quick at this first part here, Northern Israel, the top, because this was a bad period. It was about 200 years, 922 to 721. And if we look briefly right here at the kings, we see that there were 19 kings that reigned over Israel during this time period, during this 201-year time period. And none of them were righteous. All of them were wicked kings. And if you look at some of these names, you might recognize some of them. The most well-known wicked king was this guy right here, Ahab, and his wife Jezebel, who were particularly wicked. And what they did is they reinstated the worship of Baal or Baal.
So yeah, as I said before, the Northern Kingdom didn't have no righteous kings. They was all, full of Edomite dung, right? So
right.
They were very unrighteous. And Judah was a little different. Some of them was good, Some of them was bad. Some of them was lukewarm. So that's how I went with them. That's the reason why it took so long for Judah to fall. Israel went right away because they was wicked. Most High ain't had no problem giving them up to the enemy right away, right? That's why Assyrian captivity happened so swiftly. But Judah was able to go into captivity and then come back and keep getting these chances to kind of come back and everything like that, because they had they had a string of righteous kings that the Most High was honoring, right? To an extent. So, yeah.
and Ashtoreth, and Baal is, of course, the Canaanite god that we mentioned earlier. So,
Son of a gun. I do not know what's going on because it says my Wi-Fi is fine. I don't know. But
not a lot of good stuff happening, of course. So, but now,
yeah, I'm not gonna keep doing this. All right, that's all we need to
Keeps
play.
going out.
I don't know what the deal is. It says it'll tell me why in a minute. I don't know what it is. But that's basically all we needed to see. He gave you the summary. So we'll go ahead and get into it. Give me 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 26. Right now we're gonna read. So here we're gonna start with the Jeroboam when he was exiled, when he was kicked out. This is basically when you're gonna get to meet him in the Bible, right? So the reason why we're starting here instead of chapter 12 is because chapter 12 is gonna start with mentioning that he's in exile in Egypt. So you would need to know why in order to understand that part, to understand what happens from that moment forward. So go ahead and read that. 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 26.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, Con. This is the book of 1 Kings. Starting
chapter 11 verse 26.
Verse 26. And it reads, And Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, an Ephrathite of Zereda, Solomon's servant, whose mother's name was Zeruiah, a widow woman, even he lifted up his hand against the king.
You see that? So his brother from the northern kingdom lifted his hand against the king. Who's the king at the time? Solomon, obviously, right? So this is what happens, and this is why he gets sent to Egypt. Go ahead.
God, verse 27. And this was the cause that he lifted up his hand against the king. Solomon built Millo and repaired the breaches of the city of David, his father.
Mm-hmm.
And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph.
You see that? So Solomon realized he was a great warrior. He was industrious. He's ambitious. I'm going to make him the ruler over Joseph. So now he's got a name because he's leading his brethren, right? Go ahead.
That's right. That's right. And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph. And it came to pass at that time when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem that the prophet Ahiah, the Shilonite, found him in the way. And he had clad himself with a new garment. And they too were alone in the field. And Ahiah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I just want to point out that's a cut for you brothers that think the Most High name is Ahiah. But go ahead.
Right. Verse 30. And Ahiah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces. And he said to Jeroboam, Take thee 10 pieces. For thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, Behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee. But so he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake and for Jerusalem's sake.
Hold on. So Ahiah or Ahijah is in a situation where he's basically speaking as a prophet, right? To Jeroboam. Tells him, if you do what I'm telling you to do, you know what I'm saying, the Most High is going to give you the 10 tribes. You're going to be ruled over them, right? So obviously, any Israelite who hears this type of thing, right? Especially back then, knowing that you being the king, you being a ruler is the top, you know, you the top guy at the time, he's going to take heed to whatever this dude's saying. Go ahead.
God. Verse 33. Well, let me go with verse 32 again. Verse 32. But he shall have one tribe, one for my servant David's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel.
Mm-hmm. But I'm going to leave a tribe for the southern kingdom too, right? So that's Judah, which ends up being the kingdom of Judah. So it ends up being Judah, Benjamin, and then we have Levi there too, right? It also is going to explain for a time that the southern kingdom or the northern kingdom tribes that lived in the southern kingdom, they were also ruled by Judah. And I guess for the ones that didn't end up going back up north, it would be the same thing. They end up being ruled by Judah, right? So yeah, but go ahead.
God. Verse 33. Because that they have forsaken me and have worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and
Chemosh.
Milcom.
Go ahead. I was just correcting. Like it's called Chemosh. Go ahead.
Oh, Chemosh, Salakia.
Okay.
Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways, to do that which is right in mine eyes, and to keep my statutes and my judgments, as did David his father. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all the days of his life for my servant's sake, for David my servant's sake, whom I chose, because he kept my commandments and my statutes.
You see that? So he's literally telling them, yo, like, I will not take the kingdom from his hand, but I will make him a prince of all the days, right? So he's gonna, as we keep going, you're gonna see that he's basically gonna tell them, yo, you know how Solomon was? I can make you just like Solomon.
God.
Rehoboam's gonna get his kingdom, but you're gonna have yours too. Y'all basically gonna be equal. That's how he's looking at this, right? Go ahead.
Verse 35. But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand, and will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes.
You see that? So now you're gonna be equal. He's got a kingdom, right? I gave it to David. It's gonna last forever. If you do what I'm saying, you're gonna get one too of the 10 tribes, right? Go ahead.
Verse 36. And unto his son will I give one tribe, that David, my servant, may have a light always before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen me to put my name there. And I will take thee, and thou shalt reign according to all thy soul desireth, and shalt be king over Israel.
You see that? So he's going to be king of Israel. He's going to reign over all his soul desireth. It's a wrap, right? Go ahead.
Verse 38. And it shall be, if thou wilt hearken unto all that I command thee, and wilt walk in my ways, and do that is right in my sight, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as David my servant did, that I will be with thee, and build thee a sure house, as I built for David, and will give Israel unto thee. And I
will. If you do what I say, you're gonna get everything you want, basically, right? You'll be a king like unto David. You'll have the 10 tribes. You'll basically have a name that's immortal forever, immortalized forever, right? Go ahead.
Verse 39. And I will for this afflict the seed of David, but not forever. Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam. And Jeroboam arose and fled into Egypt unto Shishak, king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Solomon.
You see that? So Solomon found out about this prophecy. He got up and tried to kill him. So homeboy dipped, went to Egypt, right? Like so many of our ancestors did when they were about to be killed. So Solomon dies. He comes back, right? So now we're going to read chapter 12, which is when it really gets into the struggle between Rehoboam and Jeroboam, right? Or rather the northern kingdom and Rehoboam. And then they elect Jeroboam to be their king, right? So let's go ahead and get into that. 1 Kings chapter 12, start at verse 1.
The book of 1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 1. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel came to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass, when Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt, that they sent and called him. And Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came, and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us, make it put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee.
You see that? So yeah, basically the way that Knock was about to read it, right? Like, make it lighter, yo. Like, what you doing? He's dead now. We got the temple. What you doing? Stop tripping. You know what I'm saying? So they was mad that it was basically like a tax. They damn near felt like they was being used, usury or something, right? So there's such a high tax that was put on them to cover the cost of the temple after Solomon's passed, that cost of the temple still exists, right? So the people are upset, especially the northern kingdom, because now you have to remember, they're not there where the temple is. They have to travel to the temple. So they're like, yo, we paying tax for something we don't even get to see all the time. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, make it lighter. Let's make it reasonable for us, since we have to travel to get here anyway. And so that's basically where their heads was at, right? Go ahead.
Con.
Verse 5.
Verse 5. And he said unto them, depart yet for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed.
So he said, go for 3 days, basically, like, give me 3 days to think about it. Y'all come back in 3 days. I'm going to think on it for 3 days, sleep on it, all that type of stuff, pray, fast, and then we're going to come to a decision in 3 days. Keep going.
Con. Verse 6. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, how do ye advise that I may answer this people? And they spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and wilt serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever.
So look, what's the king supposed to do? Is the king supposed to just rule over the people, or is he supposed to be like a servant to them as well? Right? Didn't Hamashiach Yahweh say, let the greatest amongst you be a great minister? Right? Ministers serve. Like, so that's what the greatest among the people is, the king. The king got to be somebody that's willing to serve the people too. That's why Hamashiach Yahweh was willing to wash some feet. Right? He's willing to feed. He's willing to heal. Those are all acts of service, right? So the king had these advisors who were advisors of his father, right? And they're telling him the right thing to do. The words they speak, if you want to serve these people, right? And if you do it the right way, they'll be loyal servants to you, right? Masters, give what's just and fair to your servants. You feel me? Right? So
that's right.
Go ahead.
In verse
7.
Where we at?
7.
Verse 7. Slack count. Verse 7. And they spake unto him, saying, if thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and wilt serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. But he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. And he said unto them, what counsel give ye that we may answer this people, who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter?
So look, now he's like, all right, I heard what the old folks say. Now, yo, what y'all think I should do, right? So he turns to the homeboys, right? Now this is what they tell him. Verse 10, not.
Verse 10. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins.
You see that? Do y'all see that? His homeboy say, yo, these people talking about your pops made it too hard for them. They want you to make it lighter. Yo, tell them your little finger, tell them your pinky is bigger than your pops nuts.
Yep, kind of.
Right?
Right.
That's basically what they said.
Yeah.
Watch what's next. Go ahead. Yeah.
Verse 11.
Judah don't play no games. You see how they is? You see Judah?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's in a good, well, I'll leave it that way. Verse 11.
Judah be wilding. All right.
Yeah.
That's another kingdom, brothers. Be like, damn, God, really? Go ahead.
He there for a reason. Judah there for a reason. Verse 11. And now, whereas my father did lade you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father hath chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions.
You see that? You know these is niggas. This is you. Y'all come,
All
y'all,
day.
these your brothers and sisters, your nieces and nephews and stuff. You know what I mean?
All day. All
Like,
day.
dudes talk about, yo, if you thought what my pops did was bad, wait till you see what I do to you niggas. That's basically what they just said. Go ahead.
All day.
Keep going.
All day. Con, verse 12. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day, as the king had appointed, saying, come to me again the third day. And the king answered the people roughly and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him.
Yep. So he answered them roughly, right? Real quick, blunt, right? Not listening to the old folks. So obviously listen to the young folks. So this is what his blunt, short message said, this rough message. Go ahead.
Con, verse 14. And spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions.
You see that? So
Wherefore
he just basically repeated.
Hearken.
So he just repeated what was being said, right?
God.
You feel me? So we in a situation here where he just told the people, yo, you thought the yoke was heavy, right? You thought what my father did was bad. Wait till you see what I do. Now just think, if Joe Biden did this, because I know half of y'all voted for him anyway.
God, right?
If Joe Biden said something like this, right, around election time, a lot of y'all, would be upset with Joe, right? So imagine that situation here in Israel, where you actually do have the power. You elect this guy here. He's the king. You know what I'm saying? This what it is. He's supposed to be a servant unto you and the people, but he's actually telling y'all, when you come to him with an issue, yo, my pockets can't handle what y'all doing. This tax is too much. Can y'all make it lighter? Can y'all ease it up a little bit? He's like, nah. Y'all think this is bad? Wait till next month. It's gonna be double. Like, yo, you're gonna be like, what? Is he deaf? He ain't just hear what we just said? I can't even afford this. How you gonna make me pay double next time? Right? So brothers got mad. You got to put it in perspective when you read the Bible. This is your people, right? Imagine you having your brothers and sisters work for you and you telling them, hey, whatever percentage I take, I'm going to take double of that now. They can be like, nigga, please, right? What are you talking about? So that's the situation that we in. Go ahead, keep reading.
God. Verse 15. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahiah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat.
Mm-hmm.
So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them.
Hold on a second. So hold where you at. You at verse 16. I'll keep you there in a minute. I want you to go to Sirach chapter 6 and verse 6 for me right quick. Because something involving counselors that we have to talk about, right? The brother here did something. We know in Israel, there's different scriptures on how to take counsel, who to take counsel from, how many counselors you should have, all that type of stuff, right? We're going to read a couple of those because some of them are relevant to this situation here. The brother went to
what chapter and verse?
Sirach chapter 6 and verse 6.
Okay, Con.
So the brother did something which was, in my opinion, detrimental to, what he was trying to do. He put himself in a situation where he had the counselors, the older brothers, right? They're able to teach him a good lesson. They give him a good word. He hears it. Then he goes to some other counselors that don't give him a good word, and he ends up following that instead, right? What he thinks would be the popular opinion because it's the young people. So read that for me right quick.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 6. Be in peace with many. Nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000.
So look, be at peace with many, right? That's what the brother should have did. The elders told him straight up, yo, if you do what you're supposed to do here and you serve the people correctly, they're going to serve you with, all their hearts, basically, right? they gonna make you a king that they want to serve, right? If the president ever did one damn thing that black people voted for, black people would love to vote for the president, right? That's how it works. That's
right.
how Jake is, right?
Yep.
So it's a give and take type thing. So there's no new thing under the sun. The same way we are now is the same way we was back then. Our people wanted our king, right, in our land to be somebody that worked for us too. And in return, we would do what he needed us to do. Rehoboam said, to hell with that. Y'all thought you was serving my pops? No, y'all really gonna serve me, and I ain't gonna give you a damn thing that you want. Y'all just gonna serve me. Right. That was his attitude in this moment.
Yeah.
And it was against the wise counsel that he got. He didn't have just one group of counselors. He went from one group to the next, and he followed the second counselor's advice, right? Usually,
That's kind of Salakia. That's kind of
go
how
ahead.
we are today, right? You know, we got a lot of our young don't want to listen to the elders. They want to go with with their homeboys who don't have the experience and the knowledge that the elders may have at that time. So we see that today.
That's a
And how,
cut.
how our young brothers and even the sisters, but just the young crowd, they want to follow. I mean, you got teenagers like 13, 14-year-old sons. You're trying to bring them up and teach them the ways when they get into them young teen years, and you'll hear them saying, "Oh, Dad, but my homeboy, he be saying this." See, going off already. So what was then is going on now. Same thing. Same
Yeah,
thing.
man. Had to know Knock was gonna come out with the dad stuff.
All day. Got four. I got four.
Said, hey, you niggas is y'all ain't listening to the elders no more. Y'all trying to listen to the homeboys.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? But no, that's facts. That's a cut. You know what I'm saying? So that's literally what he did. Instead of listening to the elders, the people that gave him the good advice, that had the experience, right? That already went through this thing with Solomon. They're literally Solomon's advisors. Solomon's dead and gone now. So it's literally the situation and not just explained, right? Instead of following them, he went with what he thought was the more popular opinion. Yeah, right. Here come Yakim from the woodworks. We see you. The old man club. Kano back there too. You know what I'm saying? The Hay and Gray brothers. But give me Proverbs 11 and 14.
Proverbs 11 and 14 kind.
Yep. Because something else that we have to understand, there was like a lack of guidance here, right? So he had counselors, but didn't take the right counsel, right? Sometimes when you hear a good word, you have to listen to that good word and actually follow it, right? Not just hear it and ignore it and do something else. So, and if you are going to do something else, you got to make sure that the advice you get is, at least adequately sufficient to the advice you got the first time. That was really good advice.
Right.
A lot of young people don't know how to analyze like that. And that's damn near the same situation we're in right here with Rehoboam, right? He ain't that old. He ain't got much experience. He's a new king on the block, right? And he ended up making a bad decision, right? That puts him in a hole with the other people. And then he ends up losing half of the kingdom because of it, right? So this is supposed to be a lesson to our people on how to be too. When you get in a position of power, there's ways you're supposed to treat your people, right? If you're in a position of power and you just abuse it, there's consequences for that. That's what this explains here. So, and it's vice versa for well, not vice versa, but literally the same situation for Jeroboam, because he's going to be put in a situation where he's the king over 10 tribes, right? And he's going to go off because he's not doing what the Most High said, all right? Abijah told him, if you do what the Most High said, follow his commandments, you know what I'm saying? You'll be a king. He didn't follow the Most High's commandments. He went off and started following other gods. So Israel, it was a wrap, right? Instead of it being a righteous nation under Jeroboam and his family forever, they ended up being damn near probably the most wicked Israelites, period, ever. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we end up there. It's a lesson to be learned. So,
you said Proverbs
14.
Yeah, and Salaki, I also want to bring one thing out. And this is not to say that our elders are always wise, right? Because we know a lot of our elders got a lot of folly also. But when we see that wisdom comes from the commandments, you know what I'm saying? And Captain brought the scripture in Sirach 6:6. I'm gonna go back to that real quick. It says, "Be in peace with many." I mean, that was wise words that we seen in First Kings that the elders was given to Rehoboam. but he chose not to take that. So, but I just want to let that be known that, we know that, wisdom comes from, keeping the commandments, whether you be young or old. So, wise counsel comes from those who are keeping the commandments. But I want to go to Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 14. And it reads, where no counsel is, the people the people fall.
You see that?
But in the multitude.
So where no counsel is, the people fall. If you get bad counsel, that's basically no counsel. And what happened? Right? No counsel is as good as bad counsel. Bad counsel is as good as no counsel.
God.
If the counsel isn't sufficient enough to move the people forward, then it was no need for the counsel, right?
God.
And that'll cause the people to fall. Go ahead.
Con, where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety, right? But it's got to be the right counselors. Can't just be anybody, right?
God.
So
That's right.
With that, give me Proverbs 15 and 2.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 15.
15 and 20.
All right.
Give me
the book of
probably 21. Read 20 right quick. Let me see what that says.
Wise son.
Read it.
Con, the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 20. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despiseth his mother.
So look, hey, all right.
I think 22.
If he would have been a wise son, right, and listen to the counsel that, Solomon laid out for him with the counselors that were appointed, right? He would have made Solomon proud, would have kept the kingdom the way Solomon left it. But that ain't what happened. Keep going.
Verse 21. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom.
So look,
but a man of understanding.
Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, right? What was folly in this situation? Listening to the young people, right? Bruh, they think that the burden you had was too light, that your dad was too hard on him. Tell them that your pinky finger is bigger than your dad's.
God.
Right?
Bold statement.
His nuts ain't the size of yours. You finna blow them out the water with what you got going on here. They're gonna be upset, right? Tell them that if they think that, serving my dad was bad, I'm about to feed y'all the scorpions. Know what I mean?
God.
Like,
right.
This is the attitude he took. That's straight folly. Read that again.
God. Verse 20, verse 21. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walketh uprightly.
You see that? A man of understanding walketh upright. So if the brother had understanding, if he had more understanding of, what he was supposed to do, why he was king, what the king's position was supposed to be as far as serving the people, then, and not just be in a position where he get to rule everything and do what he wants to do, you know what I'm saying? He would have made a different decision. He would have listened to the counsel of the counselors that actually had that in mind and told him that that's what they had in mind, right? As opposed to the ones that was like, nah, you the king, right? Show them what you could do, right? So, all right, that's it on that. Go ahead and give me
verse 22. One more verse.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Read the verse 23. Go ahead and read the verse 23.
23. Okay. Verse 22. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed. But in the multitude of counselors, they are established.
Right.
A man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season, how good is it?
You see that? A word spoken in good season, like in due season, how good is it? The word he had that was spoken in due season was the word from the first counselors. The bad counsel that destroyed the people was the one he got second, right? So it's a balance to these things. Yeah.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Matters are settled in a multitude of counselors, but you got to make sure you got the right counselors within that multitude. If you're listening to bad counsel, if you got a bunch of yes men, if you got a bunch of dudes that just want to, be self-righteous or whatever it might be, whatever the situation, females too, right? It's not something that's going to help you move forward. Therefore, shouldn't take that counsel. So, all right, let's go back to 1 Kings.
The book of
you're at 16, chapter 12, verse 16.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 12 and verse 16. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents.
You see that? So straight up, Israel's letting them know, yo, what portion we have in David then? If this the way you're gonna treat us, right?
Right.
Like, yo, are we really Israelites? Is we part of this thing? If we telling you that we can't afford something, what you got going on is too much for us. We coming to you as a people. It's not one or two of us coming. All of us is here, right? We've elected a speaker. It's that serious. Jeroboam, right? So, I mean, hey, if this is the way you're going to treat us, this the response you're going to give us, right? Trying to show us how big your nuts is? All right. So we're going to dip. So that's what happened. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 17.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Verse 18.
As for the children of Israel that reigned in Judah or lived in Judah, basically, Rehoboam ended up being their king because, they're around Judites. Go ahead.
Come on. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones that he died.
Now Rehoboam sent the brother up there to Israel, like, yo, nah, hell no. I'm the son of Solomon. Y'all gonna respect me. I'm the king, right? I don't care what y'all talking about. So he sent tribute up there, right? Try to show my big, my feel me? Right. So like he's in a situation where, all right, bam, I'm gonna send you up there. You're gonna take the tribute from these people. Take no prisoners, take their money. They talking about the junk too high. We're gonna double the tax and they gonna give it to you. Pass the bucket, right? That's what Rehoboam told dude. He sent them up there to Israel. And what did the northern kingdom do?
Con, verse 19.
No.
Verse 18.
No,
verse 18.
Like, we ain't gotta read it. We ain't gotta read it. You just read it. They stoned him to death. He's dead. Right? They stoned him till he died. They threw stones at him. Where the money at? Bow! There's your money.
Yep.
Right? Northern kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 19. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. Verse 20. And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again.
Wait, ain't it crazy it was over money? It was basically over money, right? What's money? The love of money is what?
The love of money is the root of all evil.
Right?
That's right.
I hate to say it to you, Southern Kingdom, but Lil Rio liked money.
Say Lil Rio.
Lil Rio liked the money. He liked the bread, right? And Gio liked idols. So both of them was wicked, right?
Yeah.
But the money is what started it, right?
Yep.
It was you guys, y'all, that started this thing, right? Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 20. And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation and made him king over all Israel. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only.
You see that? Well, technically, all right, this means kingdom because Benjamin is there too, right?
God.
Just wanted to put that out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it talks about that.
It's like you're about to literally see Benjamin's name right there. So,
verse 21. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon.
You see that? So, it's lucky. So Rehoboam was like, yo, We ain't playing no games with this. These dudes, they finna bow down to me, right? Y'all ain't want to give me my money? I'm the son of Solomon.
God.
Yo, Benjamin, regulators, mount up, right? Now watch what the Most High did. Go ahead.
Verse 22. But the word of God came unto Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, Speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, ye shall not go up, nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me.
See that? Hey, take your asses home. I'm doing this. What you doing? You ain't finna go fight them.
God.
Let them do what they doing over there. I'm doing this on purpose. Let me work. Right? He worked for a long time because he's still working. Look where we at. You niggas wicked. Go ahead.
Khan, return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearkened therefore to the word of the Lord, and returned to depart according to the word of the Lord. Then Jeroboam built Shechem and Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah. So and look, they shall kill me and go again.
Hold on. So you see that? We're in a situation. Give me Zechariah 11:14. Because now the kingdom is split, right? We literally have a split in the kingdom. This is what Zechariah was talking about now. So we've got a money situation. Hold on. We have a money situation. We've got basically damn near a civil war. Didn't happen because the Most High stopped it. But if he didn't want to stop it, would have been a civil war, right? So it starts with the money. We've got a disagreement. We've got a arrogant king, and then the people pretty sensitive, right? They decide to dip off on him, and that's it. Emotions flaring, all that type of stuff. So read that. Zechariah 11:14.
Khan, the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 14. Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel.
You see that? So he broke the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. Khan Aharon, I got yours. I got all of yours. You know what I'm saying? So you'll have it this week. Got them hoodies. Y'all be on the lookout too. We got AHOS gear coming. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I know Brother Judah working on it. And I got some stuff coming soon. I might got some stuff coming soon. Never know. So y'all just be on the lookout, right? Got some stuff that y'all gonna be able to get. It's not just for us. Anyway, so that's what we got here, right? Keep going though. Go back to 1 Kings.
1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 27 again.
Yeah.
In verse 27. If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah. And they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan.
So wait.
And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one.
So you see what Jeroboam did?
Unto Dan.
You see what he did? Right? We're in a situation where he's He's already going off.
God.
It's only been a little while, right? Ain't even been 24 hours yet. 48 hours. Brothers already making golden calves, talking about yo God that brought you out of Egypt. What about the Most High? What about the one that told you he was going to give you the 10 tribes? You see what I'm saying? So
Salaka,
Israel always does what's wise in their own eyes, and they need to stop doing that. Right? Go ahead now.
And Salaka, you see the hatred already being built up because you see what Jeroboam did. He didn't want to go back and have them go back and have the feast in Jerusalem because he felt what did he say earlier? You know, they would go back and start serving Rehoboam, right? So now you're gonna just go ahead and try and figure out a way to keep them there around you. So build up other gods. Wicked. That's wicked. Where we at?
Oh.
Verse where are we at? Verse 20. I'm sorry. Verse 31.
There you go.
And he made an house of high places and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar.
So now he's offering his own feast, right? So we're gonna make idols. We're gonna offer our own feast.
Yep.
Gonna build your own temple. That's gonna be right. So
going off for real.
Like going off.
Yep.
Off top, right? Go ahead.
Khan. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burnt incense.
Mm-hmm. So look, man. So now we see this brother went off, right? So Jeroboam is going to be in a situation where he's going to get a warning. There's going to be a prophet from Judah that's going to come and warn the brother, right? We're not going to read the whole chapter 13. I'll let you guys read that on your own, but we are going to read the most important part of chapter 13. After the warning, the brother basically ignores it, right? And this is what ends up happening. Read verse 33. 13 and 33.
The book of 1 Kings chapter 13 and verse 33. After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again of the lowest of the people priests of the high places. Whosoever would, he consecrated him, and he became one of the priests of the high places. And this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth.
See that? So sins became so bad with him, not even allowing the people in Northern Kingdom to be going down to worship where the Most High chose in the city, the pit that he picked, right? As Ezra called it. Him making idols for them to worship, all these different things. Making them worship two gods that the Most High specifically told us not to have any dealings with their people and all that type of stuff, right? So he deliberately, literally went against everything that the Most High prophesied he would get if he did X, Y, and Z, which was follow the law, statutes, and commandments. He went against that, right? And said it was so bad that it was worthy of his family getting cut off the face of the earth. So, that's what it is. It's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the Most High. But that's what happened to Jeroboam, right? Let's read what happened to Rehoboam. 1 Kings 14. Let's start at verse 21. Because you also got the Jezebel thing too, right? So, but go ahead. We'll read that.
It's 14:41.
Yeah, 14 and 41. 14 and 21.
21, Khan. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 14 and verse 21. And Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, And he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel, to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. And Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins which they had committed, above all that their fathers had done.
See,
For
so there was wicked people on both sides, right? Which is why we all end up here in this captivity together, serving for the payments of our forefathers, right? Subject to the payments of our forefathers. That's what it is. Go ahead.
God. Verse 23. For they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree. And there were also Sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel.
So now they're doing everything that the other nations are doing, right? Now they're in a situation where it's like that Nehemiah stuff. You get around the other nations, start speaking their languages, start following after their gods, right? Which is the exact reason why the Most High said for us not to deal with them in the first place, right?
That's right.
Like he was specific. He didn't want us to not sleep with them because they ugly. Most of them are, but that wasn't the reason. He didn't want us to not deal with them because, they breath stink and they hairy, whatever it is, right? It was because main reason was because they had these gods that are separate from the Most High, right? These idol gods, and well, they're out here trying to make our people follow them. So when you get with them, they're basically telling you things like, "No, I ain't dealing with you unless you, become a worshiper of Chemosh. If you're a brother, most brothers we know, just knowing Jake from the world, right? You're weak. If the girl says she gonna give you something, if you do this, you're gonna do that, right? So that's what was happening. Not a brother speak Chinese.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You worship Chemosh. His kid don't know how to speak Hebrew. His kids speak Chinese too, right?
That's right.
Don't even know Yahweh's name. He only know Chemosh, right? So it's those type of situations. That's what we was in, and it was in mass number back during the time of Nehemiah and during this time here. Go ahead. You know you at?
I'm Salakia. Verse 25. And it came to pass in the 5th year of Rehoboam that Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem. And he took away the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. He even took away all, and he took away all the shields of gold which Solomon had made. And King Rehoboam made in their stead brazen shields, and committed them into the hands of the chief of the guard, which kept the door of the king's house. And it was so, when the king went into the house of the Lord, that the guard bare them and brought them back into the guard chamber. Now the rest of the acts of Rehoboam and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all their days. And Rehoboam slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. And Abijah, his son, reigned in his stead.
Yep. And Abijah was a wicked mother trucker. But y'all could, read about him next time. He's literally who they start the next chapter with. So, yeah. If you read Chronicles, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, it gives you a little bit more history on some of the kings, right? Most of them. It gives you a little bit more in-depth history of what was going on during this time period. Obviously, this time period gives you a lot of history, the kings, the books of Kings and Samuel leading up to that. But Chronicles gives you a different perspective. It's almost like, Matthew and John or something. So that's kind of how I like to look at it. So, but give me Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 23 right quick. Right? We almost done, y'all. Like 4 more precepts. We're going to get it.
39 verse, I'm sorry.
Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 23.
God.
So now we have
Book of
both of them. They've gone off, right? Which is why both of them end up going into captivity. So read that.
God. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 39 and verse 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies.
So look,
fell
because
they all by the sword.
So because they trespassed against the Most High, right? They all fell by the sword, and all the heathen are going to end up knowing what's going on with them, right? They're going to know why they're in the situation. This is the Northern Kingdom. So they trespassed against the Most High. What did they do to trespass against the Most High? Idol worship, right? So they're in this situation because they was wicked, straight up. Judah's a little different, right? Give me Jeremiah chapter give me Lamentations 1 and 3. Let's just read that one.
The book of Lamentations,
Still
chapter
Jeremiah.
1. You said Jeremiah or Lamentation?
It's Lamentation. I'm just saying Lamentations is still Jeremiah. That's Jeremiah.
The book of Jeremiah, I'm sorry, the book of Lamentations, chapter 1 and verse 3. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction.
So look,
and because of great servitude.
So look, now Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction, right? They're being afflicted. Great servitude, right? They were servants to Rehoboam, right? Who's a wicked king to an extent. And then they had other wicked kings that they served and did wickedly with, right? So this is an affliction for them, a punishment as well, just like it was for the Northern Kingdom, right? But you see the way it explains it is different. Northern Kingdom's in this situation straight up because they deserve to be afflicted. Judah's more so being described as an affliction, like, you know, they being punished. This is it. So, you know, it kind of gives you the perspective of why this thing is the way it is, why the Northern Kingdom is the ones that had to be grafted back in, why there were still people in the Southern Kingdom back during the time of Hamashiach Yahushua that kept the law still, you know, why the remnant was mostly Southern Kingdom brothers and sisters, right? So, you know, the remnant of brothers that didn't bow the knee to Baal wasn't no Southern Kingdom. I mean, like you know, the Northern Kingdom wasn't there for real because Baal was one of the people that Jeroboam had them following, right?
That's right. God.
So these are things that you have to put in perspective, and when you connect the dots, it makes sense why certain things were happening the way they were in the New Testament, right? You see Naphtali and Zebulun down there with the Southern Kingdom and stuff like that. Why is that? Because there were still Northern Kingdom tribes that were ruled by Rehoboam in the Northern Kingdom, right? That stayed down there, that lived in that region. So things like that. It just allows you to connect the dots and understand why certain things happen the way they were, why it's written the way that it is in the New Testament. All right. So yeah, give me Jeremiah 33 and 7.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 33 and verse 7. And it reads, "Behold, their valiant ones shall cry without. The ambassadors of peace shall weep bitterly." Oh, I'm sorry. That's not. Is that what you wanted?
You read Jeremiah 33 and 7?
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Salakia. Let me get it right now. The book of Jeremiah 33 and I don't know why that switched on me. 33 and verse
7.
One more time. 7. Con. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 33 and verse 7. "And I will cause the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Israel to return, and will build them as at the first."
See that? So he's going to cause their captivity to return, right? They're going to be in captivity. You feel me? It's going to happen. It's inevitable. But at the end of it, they're going to be back in their land, right? Go ahead. Give me, what else? Jeremiah, what you just read? The
Jeremiah 33 and 7.
Give me 30 and 3.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, and verse 3. For, lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord. And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it.
So once again, he's going to go out. He's going to cause us to go into captivity. But once it's over with, right? Once we realize what we've done, we've repented, come back to the law, statutes, commandments, the feast days, all that type of stuff. And most importantly to me, gathered together as a nation I desire, right? That proves the ending of Deuteronomy 28:54, which is the curse explaining the split in the kingdom, right? So once we do all of those things, now we can go back to the land that he gave to our forefathers, right? So, that should be what our goal is. But that's also why it's important to understand this lesson, because it also explains to you what needs to be done in order to bring us to that goal, right? At least from the standpoint of bringing the two kingdoms together. Some of you Southern Kingdom brothers don't want to wake up. No Northern Kingdom brothers don't speak no Spanish and stuff like that. You ain't trying to learn no words, no phrases. Use your Google Translate on your phone, your smartphone, dummy. But it's a lot of things brothers could be doing, right? To try to wake up their other brothers and sisters. It's Northern brothers and sisters that don't want to wake up the Southern Kingdom folks. Don't speak English. You know what I'm saying? You think the blacks are too scary. Whatever it is, right? We don't need to be doing all that. It needs to be a situation where we realize who we are. We see the plight is the same, and we come together to end it. It's that simple, right? Give me Daniel chapter 7, verse 18.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse 18. Book of Daniel as our credo. Chapter 7 and verse 18, and it reads, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Khan. So this is a scripture literally explains us. It explains us being in a situation where we're together. The saints of the Most High is, it's including all of us. It's not just for the Southern Kingdom. It's not just for the Northern Kingdom. The saints is both kingdoms, right? So that's what we got to be on. That's the type of time we need to be on, right? In order to take the kingdom, we got to be together. So we got to stop the split, right? In Zechariah 11:14, the bands was broken, right? But I believe it's Ezekiel 33 where we come back together, right? 50 and 33 or 33 and 50, something like that. But in Ezekiel, we come back. And that's what we need to be back on, right? So that's the lesson today. Hope you guys liked it, took some notes. Stay tuned for the classes we got throughout the rest of the week. Knock, you got anything you want to say?
Nope. Great class. I hope everyone was edified. Looking forward to seeing you. But just to remind again that we will be having our first annual Feast of Passover. Again, it will be in Atlanta, Georgia, from April 3rd to April 10th, 2023. Please, all those who want to attend, and we want you to attend, please RSVP as soon as possible because it is right around the corner. All praises.
All right. Appreciate you, Knock. Brothers and sisters, hope y'all have a good week. Y'all stay tuned for the shows and the classes we got throughout the rest of the week. You know what I'm saying? Like the brother said, get ready for Passover. Get your garments ready. Your blues, your golds. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, your plane tickets, your hotels, Airbnbs, whatever it is, right? If you staying at a brother or sister's house, make your arrangements, all of that. So
that's right.
Get ready. You know what I'm saying? We on the scene at Anointed House of Saints. We ain't going nowhere. We here now. And we only going to grow and get bigger from here. So
all praises.
Thank you guys for being with us on the journey. And, we'll see y'all next week.
Shalom.
This is not a test.
black Jesus, black music, black skin, black skin, black Jesus, black music, black skin,